Hi guys, the former immigration minister and candidate to be leader of the Conservative Party once again, Robert Jenrick, appeared on the Nick Ferrari show on LBC where he was calling for people to be deported. Now in some cases it may be correct, in others it's just people he seems to disagree with. Have a listen to this.
For government, it means there must be zero tolerance on anti-Semitism and extremism. So where you find instances of it, like hate preachers in mosques or individuals on the streets of our towns and cities calling for jihad or chanting from the river to the sea or lionizing the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, prescribed terrorist organizations, arrest these individuals and take action against them. Where you find individuals who are abusing our hospitality, they're here on visas and yet are displaying anti-Semitic, anti-British, frankly, sentiments, kick them out, deport them as quickly as possible. And then every institution in our country needs to take a long, hard look at the way it conducts itself.
Some of our universities, Mr.
Yeah, let me give you a couple of examples. In universities, we've seen Jewish students' dorm rooms, doors with swastikas posted on them. We've seen anti-Semitic professors at universities being able to continue for far too long. Just last week, we saw in the NHS a doctor being allowed to continue to practice despite the fact that she had said that the Royal Free Hospital, the big hospital in London, was a cesspit of Jewish supremacy. That woman should have been kicked out of the profession immediately, and yet the individuals, leaders in their profession, decided to allow her to continue to practice. That's wrong. We've got to weed out this, root it out.
Okay, so a few things to respond to here. First of all, I thought this guy was on the side of freedom of expression. He was congratulating J.D. Vance not that long ago for criticising Britain under Keir Starmer and Europe for, in his eyes, running roughshod over freedom of expression. And at the same time, he wants to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. He's advocated for this on a number of occasions, which would suspend protections for freedom of expression. I don't understand him at all. Now, he mentioned a few things here, so I want to go through them. He said he wants to see zero tolerance on anti-Semitism and extremism. Okay, so when it comes to the latter, does that include people who lie about asylum seekers, claim that they're an invading force, lie about what they can and can't access when it comes to public services like welfare or benefits? Would it be an extremist if somebody was to misrepresent statistics in order to convince the public that asylum seekers, refugees and foreigners commit more crimes than the native population? Is Robert talking about those extremists as well? Do they need to be punished? Because he may need to look in the mirror. Now, he's also talking about hate preachers, and once again, does that include himself? He called for free speech to be suspended and for people who he disagrees with to be arrested. So once again, not a huge advocate for free speech. You know, one thing is somebody to show support for a criminal organization or a prescribed organization, but he wants these things banned. He wants protests to be banned if he doesn't agree with the protests. And he also talked about institutions and universities, saying that they need to have a long, hard look at. But if he mentioned a few examples here, but if somebody has broken the law, then they should be punished. That's the reality of the situation. If somebody has breached the Human Rights Act or equality law or anything like that, then they or the institution that has supported them will be dragged in front of a tribunal. So when he talks about deportations and punishing people who break the law, well, why didn't this happen when the Conservatives were in power? When he was a minister? Why are we only hearing about this now? Is it because the Conservatives didn't care and now they suddenly do care? Is it that these things didn't happen, but they did, and now they're happening, which of course they were happening all the time? So once again, this is political opportunism by Robert Jenrick and Robert Jenrick in particular, and the Conservatives in general. They don't care about what they're talking about. They're trying to score political points. And of course, with Kemi Badenoch on the ropes, Robert Jenrick sees an opportunity to stamp his authority or appear to be the real leader of the Conservative Party. He doesn't stand for freedom of expression. He's the opposite of that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.